in John 14, this is an amazing scripture. He says, let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God, believe in me. And we live in a time where there's many hearts that are troubled. He says, don't let your heart be troubled. Now, why must your heart not be troubled? Look at this. He says, in my Father's house are many mansions. Now, I got saved, and all they taught me is that one day you're going to have a home in heaven. And many times I thought, who's going to clean my mansion? I wonder if I shouldn't have a smaller type of house. And then they sang gospel songs like, I've got a cabin in the corner in Glory Land, and the other one is living next door to Jesus. And it's like all these songs just confuse you. But we've always got this thing. And when my children got older and they all worked on cars, I thought, oh, my word, I don't want to be close to their house in heaven because they're going to have a scrapyard. It's like all these ideas is, we allow the natural mind to read the spiritual stuff. And this is where the smash comes in. He's not talking about a physical house. Come on, 2 Corinthians 2 tells us that we have a permanent dwelling from heaven. And we are living like, our lives here is like a tent house. Now, during this lockdown, I tried to put up a tent and let the kids and us sleep outside. It didn't work for long because we want to go back to the house. And this is what our permanent dwelling with God is. It's just better. Now he says, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you so. Now listen to this. I go to prepare you a place. What? When he says, I go to prepare you a place. The word prepare, it means you don't just walk into something, it has been prepared. You don't just go sit. I know the men think, you know, they can just sit down and eat, but there was someone preparing before the time. You know, I'm making these face masks for this corona lockdown thing. You don't just have the mask. Everybody's like, I want one, I want one. It takes about 3/4 of an hour to make one. You have to prepare. You have to prepare the pattern. You have to prepare the material. You have to prepare you've got to work your days out. It's a whole preparation to do anything. This program isn't just coming to you. I walked in here this morning, and the guys were sitting here prepared, waiting for me and rigging me up, and that the word can come. Everything is preparation, and to everything there is a cost. Now Jesus says, I go to prepare you a place. Whoa! If you read that word place, and you take the scripture of Isaiah 34 verse 16, and he says, seek out the book, find the mates. This is how you read the word in the Spirit. You find a scripture, find its mate, and you see the connections that go, and then you understand the patterns in the word, and it leads to the purposes of God. And so if you take the word place, Moses, the first man that ever asked to see the glory, remember, all have sinned and come short of the glory. And from Adam to Moses, death reigned. But Moses said, on a mountain, show me your glory. Oh my word, this man was called with fire, and he said to God, you know my name. I'm drawn from water. The two curses that's on the earth, the two forming elements of the earth, the two life-giving elements of the earth, water and fire. And he says, I want to see your glory. God showed him his presence. He says, my goodness will pass by. And that's where Moses wrote Genesis. Genesis was written 2,500 years after Adam. You can't read it with a natural mind. So here, God said to him, you cannot see my face, but there is a place beside me on the rock. 1 Corinthians 10 says, the rock that followed Moses, that followed them through the desert, was Christ. When they hit the rock and water came out, he says, I will stand before you on the rock. And when you hit it, it was all symbols of Christ. So from Moses, he got a pattern. This pattern was the preparation of the body. The purpose for a seed is a body, and the purpose for the body is the spirit. Now, here he comes and he says, I go to prepare you a place. So if I go and prepare you a place, he says, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, you may be also. Listen, you're not going to have a cabin in the corner of Glory Land. You're not going to have a mansion. You're not going to live next door to Jesus. It's a place in the Spirit that Jesus Christ went to prepare for us.